Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. Since I've started playing World of Tanks, I've been always interested in the tactical side of the game and analysis and analytics of the game, and I've been found it very helpful watching other people's YouTube videos, particularly stuff that explain decision making and other aspects of the game like that, and I've often thought about contributing in some way to that. And I've done a little bit with the tactics series that I've had, and I've often thought about doing something like map guides. However, there are pretty good map guides already on for the game. Some are available in the forums. I have some links coming up, and I will have those links in the video description. There's the Dr. Bodge series, there's posts on map guides, and the map guide by TheRoofsOnFire and JustAnAce. These map guides are pretty good and well worth a look in my opinion, and I wouldn't worry about the fact that maps have changed since the guides were compiled, because for the most part I don't think any changes that World of Tanks have made or Wargaming have made to maps have changed the dynamics of the gameplay in a huge way. There are one or two exceptions. I think the Sacred Valley changes changed the dynamics of the game, although they didn't really change the pattern of the way people went on the tanks. They just changed the viability of certain actions, or the timing of certain actions. Spawn points, I think, have a bigger effect on the way you approach a map, or spawn point changes, than topographical changes. For instance, I think Red Shard 1944 should be played fairly similarly to Red Shard, regular Red Shard, because while the tactics at individual locations might vary, or the terrain you can take advantage of varies, the overall approach to the map is similar, and the defining geography of the map is kind of similar. The other thing I wondered about at one point was there any kind of way that the player base approached stuff that you could sort of an emergent behaviour, so to speak. But I found that what the player base does on particular maps can vary over time. Although Lakeville's pretty consistent in that, by and large, people go to the valley. This game is kind of an exception in that people have defended the valley on the green team from the southern side. Essentially, the southern team have stayed on the defensive, stayed under the crest, and let the northern team do the aggressive actions. And the northern team have been, what I might call, cautiously aggressive. They didn't go all in and all 5 tanks up there, plus the guys already across the ridge, plus the guy that went in at the very start and died, came over the ridge together, and they might have won. And because of the aggression of this forward element of the red team, these 3 tanks, which are kind of playing as they recommended in the valley in Lakeville, as in they're playing a defensive role, kind of at the back and waiting for the enemy to come at them, are effectively useless. They're out of the game. They're not about to contribute anything to their team, because the forward tanks will either win or die, and if the forward tanks die, by then it's too late for the guys at the back to be shooting at the enemy that have come over the crest, and they're also too late to influence the game elsewhere on the map. Similarly, if the guys in front, the 5 tanks here in front, win over the defenders and the green team, then the guys at the back will have contributed nothing to that victory either. So overall, given the behaviour of the rest of their team, what they're doing is actually not of much use, and they'd be better off probably relocating to help the team in the town, because by the time they'd get up the valley to the crest, the situation in the town, or the situation in the crest, will have resolved itself, and so very likely with the situation in the town, and the town is likely to be more decisive. Now, at first blush, it looks like we're badly outnumbered in the town, and we are, but effectively these 2 tanks here aren't actually fighting a lot of those enemy tanks. And that guy that has moved up, the medium tank, has taken himself out of the game. And he's exposed himself because he hasn't really taken into account the possibility that we would reinforce that forward position. So by the time he gets up here to the corner, the situation has changed, and the allies that he was intending to support have disappeared. And he's now fired off his clip of ammunition and he's completely isolated and he's got nobody to protect him when he's doing his reload. So he's isolated, he's effectively defenseless, and he's not going to survive very long. So we've now won the town in force and are coming out very, very strongly. The Tiger that remained there at A6 was of no use, and either because he didn't survive long enough to light up tanks for this guy. The tank destroyer that was at the back with this guy moved up to the front. Now he actually made it to the front, but arguably he'd been better off going to A4 or B4, where he would slow down. I think it's the Jagd Tiger that went up, that was down at the back, and if the Jagd Tiger was available farther forward, this guy would be in a position to shoot tanks that wouldn't be able to see him, which would be more useful in his current situation where he's now taking fire, because he has to do his own spotting, so they're able to spot him as well. So if two tanks were back here defending, they might have had a chance. They might be able to catch more of the tanks coming in, and they might have inflicted more casualties at the very least. Whereas now, effectively everybody's out of position. The guys on the crest are going to have to turn around to defend behind them, which is going to give our tanks that were up forward a positional advantage because they're going to be turned the other way and not looking at them crossing the ridge. Overall, it meant a fairly easy win for us. We only lost 2 tanks in that battle. And what I'm also going to do this time is this game, I'm going to put it on a playlist and link it with a couple of other Lakeville battles so that people can see different approaches to Lakeville that can sometimes be very, very successful. So I hope you found this interesting. If you do, please give the video a like. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you give the channel a subscription as well, and I will catch you all again soon.